I'm so glad I don't do hair and makeup. That's too much. Yes, I'm unbraiding my hair. I know it's a fatal attraction disaster. What even that? Let me tell you, it is. Cause for every video I do, I in fact keep trying to brush it back. Yes, with my headphones. Does that make sense? I think it does. As in to move it out the way. I got so much hair I can't even sit down. Let me tell you, that's a joke as well. Catch it. Like, subscribe, ID in the Discovery Channel. Yes, ID in the Discovery Channel. The links are provided below. Get that Discovery Go app as well as that ID Go app. You might want to get those two and combine them together as one. No shoestrings involved, homie. Yeah. So, with this celebrity surgeons rape and a girlfriend. Does that sound right? Celebrity surgeons rape and a girlfriend. So, let me say his name. Let me say, I'm going to have to call him Grant, because with all this, Robin Che. Dr. Grant, Robin Che. Robin Che. No, let's just call him Grant, because I'm going to, strike a fellow over the head, and possibly a surgeon. With me, brutally, corruptionally, bleeding all over his name, and yet I should with even this. The stab report, I'm saying. From my end to the surgeon, as well as the girlfriend, where they like to commit crimes of rape and all that other stuff. That is so not cool. Famous folks, they always acting up when it comes to using their fame and all the rest, and push come to shove with that sort of thing, as in going to jail, shoving and pushing to a jail cell and all the rest. Yeah. So this Mr. Grant, the surgeon, celebrity surgeon, he in fact served famous people. Let me tell you, I would know about that sort of thing. That's why I grabbed for even him. So he was at one time most eligible bachelor in Orange County. Did you get that? This sounds like almost sometimes, because I was going to mention politicians, but maybe I shouldn't, right? But most eligible bachelor in Orange County, some of the titles these individuals be having while they're committing all type of rape and murder with all that. And the abstractions up underneath, as in when the public don't even be knowing that it's going on. And then a scandal comes later. That's messed up in itself. So, yes. Why did I say that? Didn't I just say why I said that? Because you never know what any of the... I'm saying what I'm trying to say is, despite the fame and the big titles and all the rest that goes with that sort of thing, as to say, these are still highly imperfect people, is why I'm saying what I'm saying. That has to be said, because sometimes people in fact take the titles of individuals, such as even a celebrity surgeon, and even celebrity, sometimes they take the title too far, thinking that those individuals are in fact once again perfect, when they're not. Because see, I grabbed the photographs that the mugshot appeal, and yet other photographs that exist of these two individuals involved in this crime are highly attractive individuals, as in good looking and clean cut and all the rest, as in they can even bypass you, the viewer eyes, knowing that they were in fact committing such crimes. That woman is not a bad looking woman, right? That's how they in fact get over on people, and they in fact did. That's how they in fact got victims. Sounds like serial killer mess. With even that. So let me dig much more deeper into this. So Dr. Grant himself, an orthopedic surgeon who served famous and very wealthy patients in Newport Beach. Yes, well, he's been charged with the drugging and rape of 2 women, to be exact. Prosecutors involved in the case, since more victims exist, as in more victims in fact could be out there. This is for me to bring the awareness to even the public, your eyes. Helps to be the example. And yet, with the prosecutors, involved in the case, sensing that more victims might in fact exist out there, those victims more than likely they're not coming forward, as in they haven't, right? Because if they had, more will be added into this story, and possibly could be more later which is why I'm telling this story as in reporting it so soon, because you never know who's going to see with even that, as it being all over the news and victims start coming out even more. That's almost like Bill Cosby. So yes, Grant himself appeared on the Bravo TV show Online Dating Rituals of the American Male. Did you get that sort of thing? I'm trying to push this back. It won't stay back. I'm sorry. I know I look like Erykah Badu and the bag lady with it, right? Let me do it like that. So, yes. So Grant, he in fact appeared on the Bravo TV show Online Dating Rituals of the American Male. Man, that's a hefty title. I'm saying it's very long. Very long. Online Dating Rituals of the American Male. He appeared on that TV show on the Bravo, yes, back in 2014. When it comes to an Orange County prosecutor, the Orange County prosecutor expressed on Tuesday Grant, the surgeon of 38 years old, and his girlfriend, yes, Sarissa Laura Riley, age 31, they both preyed on women. Many other victims were in fact female victims, yes, that they met at bars and at Burning Man festivals and the like. You ever heard of Burning Man festival? Festivals like that. Festivals and the like I stated, as well as bars is where these two individuals, Grant the surgeon as well as his girlfriend, Miss Riley, liked it to pick up people. Not hookers, no. Victims. They made them into victims. So a female victim, the age of 36 in the investigation, told she met the couple at a Newport Beach restaurant. In April 2016, she expressed the couple invited her to a party on a boat. Well, that sounds very fun and extravagant, but not when rape follows it, rape. So yes, that's what she said. She in fact met the couple. They invited her to a party on the boat. The couple took the victim to Grant the surgeon's apartment. Yes, to the surgeon's apartment. They took her to the apartment. They raped her after giving her some drugs. What is the point in that? Somebody leave me a comment in the comment section and let me know. What is the point of partying with people to only drug them in the end in the process? What, you feel they won't give you any if they're completely non-intoxicated or something? To say somebody don't want you is to leave that sort of thing alone. These individuals, these females, I don't really know how they look, and yet they must have been attractive for even the couple. Yes, the surgeon and his girlfriend to want these women, which is why they were drugging them. And yet I'm wondering if the women would have said no if they weren't drugged. Why not just ask a person about a threesome in place of taking advantage of them? Yes, possibly because she would have said no. Possibly both victims possibly would have said no. Or many more of them. And yet, why not just find out? That don't really make sense. I guess the couple possibly just said, well, we'll override that sort of thing and just let that die out by just drugging the girls anyway or something. I don't know. Don't ask me. I wouldn't know. I don't drug people. That's not a smart go. It ends up in court. I'm saying yes, it does, or something worse. You can kill somebody with that, especially if you drug them and then you get them in the car, front seat of a car or something, and say it's them by themselves or a passenger with them. You're allowing them to go home. Some people be so drugged up, even in rape, that they're able to drive and yet not completely, which is how cars get swerved and flipped over and people get killed with that sort of thing. It helps to have respect even in the lane of rape is what I'm trying to say. So, let me see. This rape victim, after she partied on the boat, on the boat, after she partied with them on the boat and she was drugged up, right? Once she woke up, she contacted police, yes, the very next day on the matter. And a drug test was at play. There was in fact a drug test, yes, in which she took, which showed various controlled drugs in her body. that victim. She had various drugs, which is how she found out she was drugged in the first place. Ain't that sad that you so drugged you gotta find out through the hands of somebody else? Such as medical treatment facilities and all the rest, right? Not treatment facility, that sound like drug addiction. No, not with that. But going anywhere and having to get a drug test or police or whoever else with that sort of thing. And then you find out you didn't drug yourself, somebody else did. That's whack. That's completely whack. It is. It must be said. Because there's all type of rape victims out here being taken advantage of against their own will. And not only that, that imposes mental damage years down the line for even the victim. As in she's going to not have a trust for men. Let me tell you. So a second victim of the couple expressed, yes, there was the other victim I was speaking on this, a second individual involved in this. She expressed that she was attacked back in 2016. Yes, on October 2nd of 2016. The attack occurred after she met up with the couple in a Newport Beach bar. Once the night was over, she woke up once again, just like that first victim. She woke up to only find out the couple had raped her, which means, yes, she too was drugged. She screamed and yelled on to gain the alert of someone, which led to a neighbor responding to that innocent victim. Yes, and they in fact called police for her. That's messy. That's completely messy. So, famous surgeons and their girlfriends. That being, yes, Mr. Grant, the surgeon, and his girlfriend, Miss Riley, to be specific. And there's possibly, yes, many more in which, yeah, is not being spoke of. It's the power and the abuse with that sort of thing. People get off with that. So, yes, a prosecutor stated the attractive couple used their charm, just like Casey Anthony and everybody else with that charm, right? A prosecutor stated the attractive couple used their charm to their advantage by using the charm goodies to drug and rape their victims. That's how it always happened. I can go on in every single video to the day that I die pertaining to this charm and how it kills and hurt people. And I already said that, yet I'm saying this for the second time for people in this world that operate, yes, and being naive and not being able to see and notice what's like right in front of you as you're standing out in the atmosphere towns full of people and all the rest, and how people, yes, do things with that charm, the wicked and evil with that. So yes, that's how the prosecutor feels, that by them doing that, using their charms, is how they were able to drug and rape their victims. It's all type of people, I said it already, that's being raped by ways of drugs and all that. And yet they're being led to the bed, and yet many of those victims are not saying because they feel shameful with even that. There's embarrassment with that because some people will feel, well, you were raped, so you must have been a slut or a whore in order to be, yes, taken advantage of in that way. And that's not always the case in the process. Individuals do that sort of thing. So a rape victim should never feel embarrassed or feel any sort of shame, as in where you need to come out and open your mouth and say. Yes, even police will keep that sort of thing covered, yes, until the trial and all the rest with that sort of thing. Shouldn't be off in the dark suffering as in the rape aspect and letting that go unspoken of. Even family should know, because there's a supporting process as in going to therapy, getting help with that. And also you're using that to help other rape victims and support groups with that, because they exist as well. So upon a search of the home of Mr. Grant, the surgeon, drugs were found in the form of cocaine, GHB, as well as MDMA. That's like them partying drugs. That MDMA ain't no joke. You don't want to mess with that. People, a lot of kids and all the rest use the MDMA. They use that, yes, too, for sexual purposes. Too, yes. Codeine too, but that wasn't stated. Yeah, that hasn't been stated, but yes. Okay, so upon the search, I stated about which drugs were found: cocaine, GHB, and MDMA. But video footage was found by Newport Beach detectives The footage included sex acts involving one of the couple's victims. Did you get that? The sex tape that was found included sex acts that included one of the victims. And also what was found was other footage and photos of drugged up victims, very drugged up victims of the couple's victims. Yes, it was found on the couple's phones. So that goes back and it ties into when I said that there was various victims and not just one or two. Because the police in fact found the footage of the photos and the videos with that sort of thing, and the embarrassment with that. Once again, yeah, they need to come out in the public as in speak with that for the awareness aspect. Because if police got extra video footage on people, and yet they're not saying that they were raped and all the rest, is to say, what do you have? The sitting in silence. Because sometimes people in fact sit in silence, not always because of shame, but they do that too because they don't want to help mess up the title of, say, a celebrity surgeon, such as which Grant himself is. He's a celebrity surgeon. That's why 2 victims sit in silence. Because sometimes they don't feel that they're going to be believed if they come out to the public and state it, right? Possibly in the news or put in a police report. They'll feel that they're not only believable in saying that that sort of thing happened, such as a rape from a famous celebrity surgeon, but they feel like they'll be slandering his name. So to stay in line on their own innocence and not say anything, right? But not only that, they will feel, I think too, rape victims will feel that they played a part into this scenario. Possibly that they wouldn't want him to go to jail or something. Or they could in fact fear the repercussion. When I keep going on and on how this is like a Harvey Weinstein type of situation or a Bill Cosby type of situation, people oftentimes stay silent up under the rape with all that because they don't know what the repercussion can be. Because remember, if you're just an average everyday citizen and say you don't really have money, say like a celebrity surgeon, you don't have money and status like him, as to say, well, what is he going to do with you once he found out that you done opened your mouth pertaining to him raping you? Is he going to pay somebody to murder or kill you off? You don't know. Which too is why rape victims stay in silence. But there's a better way to deal with that, even when you contact even police. When you've been taken advantage through forms of rape by a celebrity surgeon. There's all type of ways to handle that sort of thing. Let me tell you. It just is. So, pointing back. Let me rewind again. Okay, so all that footage and all the sexual lewd acts with all that, because of all lewd rape affairs, yes, the lewd acts and the rape affairs, and the filming, such as the footage with such, by a famous surgeon and his girlfriend, they are now, because of all that, they are now standing to face, the both of them, they're standing to face multiple felony counts. And those counts are in fact assault with intent to commit sexual offenses. That's one count. One felony account is assault with intent to commit sexual offenses. Another count is oral copulation. Copulation. Some people down south will say copulation, as northern people will say copulation. Oral copulation, however you choose and decide. That's another count, as well as, anesthesia and rape by drugs. This surgeon went as far as to use anesthesia in the form of drugs, something you should be using in a surgical room with surgical technicians and assistants with that. He used anesthesia to rape these women, along with other drugs and all the rest. That's a play on power with that. Because those, once again, the anesthesia and anesthetic and all that should remain in the surgery room. Surgeons, yes, surgical room. And yet it wasn't. It was taken home. So maybe even he need to be in fact sued or something by the pharmaceutical company itself with the drugs and all the rest. Taking something lethal medication such as anesthesia is to know you can die by that if it's not distributed right, and yet to be a surgeon is to say possibly not, and yet who knows? Because even if he would have been drugged up too far himself, Nobody said how the surgeon carried himself while him and his girlfriend were drugging these women. But just say in case if too much drugs was even in his system and his girlfriend's system, say if they would have in fact dosed up these women with this anesthetic drug, anesthesia to be specific, if they would have did it too much, is to say they would have killed them women in the process. But more than anything, once again, the pharmaceutical companies might in fact need to sue this man, because that's going to be a lesson to say not take anesthesia out of a surgery room, delivery room, and all the rest, and be taking it outside of the four walls of the hospital and using it, or outside of your office where you do surgical work. Shouldn't be taking that on the outside. That makes the pharmaceutical companies look very bad. I'm saying it taints their name very bad with that sort of thing, which I can see even that coming later in the process. Trust and believe. So the semi-famous, let's drop him down a few notches now that we done stated his story. He done went from celebrity surgeon, and I'm dropping him down to semi-famous. Grant the surgeon stands accused for illegal owning. Yes, he stands once again accused for not only the felony counts with his girlfriend, but he also stands accused for illegal ownership of assault rifles. Yes, assault rifles such as firearms. Some background on this Mr. Grant, the famous surgeon himself. Helps to be wise as in to not do. And yet he did. His medical degree was obtained from Louisiana State University. His residency, it was completed at UC Irving. Yes, Medical Center. Some might say Irving. However you say it. U.S. Irving Medical Center. I said it the other way. So Grant, the surgeon, and the girlfriend, they were released on their special, yes, very special bill of $100,000 each. Grant over here, his bill was $100,000, as that girlfriend, Miss Riley, her bill was in fact $100,000, right? And yet it's affordable, I'm thinking, because even with him being a surgeon, he has funds enough to fit the bill with that. That's messed up. What is wrong with people? So police issued, when it comes to rape victims and me bringing awareness back for the 5th time, if anybody sees this and they've been a victim of even, yes, Grant, the surgeon, and his girlfriend, Miss Riley, police issued a contact number for you. If there are any victims out there, if you or someone you know or love may have been a rape victim of a Grant, the surgeon, and Sarissa, yes, Laura Riley, that girlfriend, why would she want to play a part in that? You can call Eric Wiseman. He's in fact the supervising investigator, and his number, if you want to write this down, I'll take it slow with me even citing, yes, the number of, yes, Eric himself. The number is, you ready? 714-347-8794. Once again, the number is 714-347-8794. Who you calling to? You ask. Eric Wiseman, the supervising investigator over this whole case of Grant the surgeon and his girlfriend, Miss Riley. Your identity will be withheld upon contact, as in you will be given enough time, as well as you won't be on surveillance with that, as in what you tell police and them knowing that you were raped or a rape victim of these two individuals. Leave me a comment in the comment section what you think and feel about that in relation to abuse of power and all that, and girlfriends. My question to Miss Riley is to say, why would she want to get involved? This ain't Bonnie and Clyde. Because for a surgeon to have that much power is to say even he can leave you at any time of day. And not only that, he can leave you in the courtroom and even behind the four walls of a jail cell. And him saying, yes, these two individuals I'm still speaking on, she should have been wise enough to not get herself involved in this type of ordeal. Because see, for two individuals to play in the messes to say one could in fact get less time, as in serving, where a lot of times the twist and the turn come with even the plot with that sort of thing is to say one individual might in fact turn against the other individual just to receive less time. And I could see even a doctor, Mr. Grant himself, the Grant surgeon of the celebrities himself, I could see even him walking away trying to receive less time and yet pinning a lot of the crime on even that woman, Miss Riley, his girlfriend. Because even celebrities and sometimes celebrity surgeons and all the rest pertain to celebrityhood, and the likelihood with that is to say even that can go down. I'm sure it possibly will. Because to be a celebrity surgeon is to say you're going to get off as well along with everybody else, right? And yet for even Miss Riley, nobody really know who she is. Hell, hardly nobody knows who Grant the surgeon is. But she has no title. She's just a girlfriend. You see what I'm going with this? Because even girlfriends are cheated on. So I wonder who else has Mr. Grant, the surgeon, has cheated on with even his girlfriend. That's the type of thing that make you want to walk away. As in I would. There's no way for me to be committing crime. Yes, being a girlfriend of a man with a title like that. Because I know not only will he possibly cheat on me, he might have in fact had other women outside of me, possibly even more victims outside of me. Because if he's bold enough and corrupt to do the crime by himself, is to say, well, who else could he have been doing crimes with outside of you just being his girlfriend, Miss Riley? Shouts out to Miss Riley with even her needing no awareness on even that. As in I just gave it. I spread it. Not between the legs, no. With even the hush and tell with that sort of thing. What other women does even Grant the surgeon have and is not telling? Because even, here I go with this. If a man is a surgeon, is to say, well, who has he been sleeping with pertaining to even any of his patients? That's so sad that even I have to say this sort of thing. And yet in mass media, it's not going to be stated out there pertaining to the news as in what you're going to watch and find, possibly even on CNN, which is why I'm asking it right here. With that man, Grant himself being a surgeon and him using anesthesia on the outside of his surgery room to drug and rape women, is to say what other women was he drugging and raping in his offices with even his girlfriend not being there? There's been more likely lots of victims that have been taken advantage of. They possibly don't even know it. They more likely done had surgery, done went home and went on about their business and didn't even know some creeper was between their legs. Because even surgeons pertaining to rape and surgery sometimes have been known to get rid of the staff, as in put them out the room. Yeah, and if there's a door locked for that, as in you don't know what surgeon, if they're operating out of their own offices, if there even are doors, as in a surgeon putting a lock on the door to even do that, as in getting rid of their staff, putting them out the room, and then raping victims while they're up under the needle of anesthesia. And yes, that victim laying there supposed to have surgery, and yet for a surgeon to give too much anesthesia, as I say, that patient is not going to be wide awake, not going to be wide awake enough that to know that a rape is happening to her in a surgeon's room, while the staff is on the other side of the door, possibly knowing what's happening or possibly not, if there's a lock that's been placed on the door. Stuff like that has in fact have happened with surgeons taking advantage of their patients. You can even research and look that up with your own two eyes. I'm guessing and believing I'm trustworthy enough to say that more likely has taken place with this surgeon, and yet it's not going to be stated all over the news like that. I can see it, as in I can drive right through it, and I in fact am, by me stating that he more likely was doing that. Allegedly, no, I'm saying more likely in the questionable of me even questioning that sort of thing. I'm not saying that he did do that. No, I'm not. I'm saying that it's a possibility that he did in the surgery room. Is there board of technicians that go with that sort of thing? I think it is. They possibly go by another title when it comes to surgery and doctors and all the rest that goes into that sort of thing. So yeah, I think that's all to be said for that. And also, it could be why sometimes people in fact get into that line of work anyway. Because to know that you can drug somebody and rape and take advantage of that victim, is to say, what do you have? A pesky schemer pertaining to you going to school to study medical, and then you working there, and then you're a surgeon, right? And all of a sudden what comes out later is that you've been drugging and violating women while you were putting them to sleep with anesthesia and drugs outside of a hospital facility. That's to say that that person might have wanted to work into that sort of field, work inside of that sort of field for that very purpose. You don't know. That's a silence report from my end to yours, the viewer, as in always be wide awake on this, that even when you go into surgery, you don't know how drugged you are and who's doing what and why. Because even people have been known to fondle people pertaining to when surgery is going down. That's not to scare nobody, no. This is in fact to be wide awake to what goes on in our world, which is why I'm with Discovery as well, to say that. I'm wide open, I know. So, recommended for you. Shouts out to Paula. Shouts out to a player. To add the favorites is a click right here. There's also a description with that. Evil Lives Here. Fatal Vows. Homicide Hunter with Lieutenant Joe Kenda. That's my dude. Red Rum. Add to favorites. ID Now. Because I'm an ID addict. Yes, I am. Twisted Sisters. Blood Relatives. American Monster. Murder by Numbers. What is live now? Go up here. Diabolico is in fact live now. Unlocked episode. Twisted Sister season 1 episode 3. We got In Plain Sight, which is next. What Lies Beneath. Twisted Sisters once again. Blood Runs Code. Twisted, which is different from Twisted Sisters, right? Deadline. Crime with Tamron Hall. On Last Night, Fatal Vows. To click this key is to, yes, be directed in with your provider. You need your provider, as in you need to know who your provider is in order to be able to obtain access through that sort of thing. Get through this because it's locked down. It's padlocked is what I'm trying to say. Description is with that as well. That's Fatal Vows season 6 episode 7. You got In Plain Sight. To click that, yes, is to, yeah, it's going to show you some good stuff. It's going to show you what's there as in a feature preview, I'm saying. ID Original Series. To Catch a Killer. Inside the Chase. Twisted. Same as above, somewhat slightly, not completely, but yeah. Schedule preview. See that right there? There's more. Where Oprah Winfrey herself up above me is in fact blocking. You can in fact click the full schedule, as in there's a logo for that, and it will show you the whole schedule of the week. Support Save the Children's Hurricane Relief. Yes, in relation to Hurricane Florence. You can donate by clicking here. See that? You can donate by clicking right here for that. The crime feed, if you click on this, you're going to be not on Manson's face. He might not like that. You never know. He might in fact come back by you even clicking his face, or I don't know. I was going to say stepping on it, and yet that's not nice. Some things are better left unsaid and repressed at that. So the click on this is to be directed on the outside to the crime feed, crimefeednews.com, but it's not crimefeednews.com. No, it's in fact crimefeed.com. Crimefeed.com. Murders and kidnappings and all the rest. Red Crime Hidden Murders. Download now if you want to get a piece of the action on even that. To become, yes, not one with Discovery, but to find out stuff via a newsletter. That means to gain a newsletter is to in fact type your email address in like I just did and click next, and you would in fact receive a newsletter from the one and only Discovery itself. ID to be exact, Investigation Discovery. So I think that's all to be said for now. I'm going to end out. What do you feel about rape? Do you know someone that has been raped? Have you yourself been raped? How do you deal with that sort of situation? Not too many people want to talk about that, and yet we should, because in society there's a taboo with that, as in to keep things on hush is to let it be dusted up under the rug, and yet that doesn't help with the healing process. So if you ever been raped, what is one of those things you in fact use to... I've known individuals that have in fact been raped too, right? And me spreading awareness. An individual that I've known, yes, in fact, walked down the alley, took the chance to walk down the alley in the middle of the night and was raped in the process. But with that sort of thing, if you were ever a rape victim, how would you handle the situation even in today, such as 2018? Would you get involved with programs and all that? Say if somebody in your family was ever tragically raped, that is tragic in itself, because it in fact involves a self-esteem as in the shattering nature of that. If somebody you knew or you yourself dealt with that sort of thing, how would you progress along in life as in dealing with it and putting it behind you somewhat, despite you know that it's still there in the back of your subconscious mind being playing over day in and day out for some individuals, right? That sort of thing does play in and play out for some people, as in it's something, a memory they can't get rid of. And I stated about how many individuals in fact fear men. They do, right? I have never been raped, right? But it's interesting how rape in fact changes people. They become completely different people. Some people are prone to enough to even commit homicide and stuff like that. You just don't know, right? It alters the personality with stuff like that. You know, you'll even want to question, why would men do it? Yes, there's a controlling nature of why men in fact rape women and all that. They're controlled with that. The love of abuse pertaining to the control and knowing you can take advantage. But the question is always why. Some people possibly have sexual addictions and all the rest. To rape somebody is to say, well, you can get over because you have controlling issues. But not only that, you're more than likely might have sexual addiction issues with even that too. And it's not telling. There's a lot of issues. Human behavioral science is what you would call that. Psychology, in which I speak on, where it meets sociology, behavioral science, the behavior study of science, the mental faculties of even rapists and why they do the things in which they do, taking advantage of others. You might want to look into that research. I'm saying during your free time, when people have free time, it helps to use it wisely. Sometimes it's best to even study up. It keeps your brain active and activated and all that other stuff. And it helps you not become stupid, yes, as you go. Because the longer you live, is to say your brain might in fact die off. But to keep it wide awake is to keep it active outside of just, say, partying all the time, being all up and down the block everywhere with people that's not wanting to do anything with their life or anything with that sort of thing. You might in fact want to take the time to improve by watching Discovery, is all I'm trying to say. We serve all type of, I was going to say Oprah being there, all type of individuals and yes, brands. There it go. I serve that. Discovery serves that. So yes, it helps to fall in line, to stay aware to these sort of situations, the tragedies. So I think that's all to be said for now. May you enjoy your day and may it be lovely. Yes, hopeful and bright with that. And I'm gone.